Good evening, everyone. Our fellow Toastmasters, welcome to yet another session of Toastmasters. So, based on the feedback what we got from the last session, it was an overly enthusiastic and everybody showed their best, brought out their best by appearing for all the impromptu speeches. And we actually had to extend the time last session. So, we are looking for an equivalent, if not better, response from you today as well. So, before we actually kick off the session, let me first introduce a very special member, Mr. Anand. He's from the corporate office. He has been in touch with the Toastmaster members of the previous batch, that is PGP2, who have passed out. Sayan, Maiti, Vaibhav, Maheshwari, you might be knowing them, and also Aditya, our current president. So we are very pleased to have you over here among us. Thanks. Now, we have all our roles filled up, so let me just introduce, go through the roles, whoever is taking which of the roles. So starting with the Toastmaster of the day, that is myself, Devogriya. Table topic master of the day is Pariti. Speech evaluator, Rashmi Ranjan. Speech evaluator for the impromptu speeches, Nikita. General evaluator for the day, Shashank. R counter, Durga. Grammarian, Anusha. And timer, Murli. So you're all here, that's great. And going forward, we also want to go through all the names which are popping up in the prepared speeches list just to make sure they are all present over here. Ajay Singh Yadav, Akshi. Okay, Akshi is yet to come probably. Would she be joining us today?
Yes.
No,
She will.
she will. Okay. Shreya? Hi. Pratibha? Sameer?
I'm prepared speech.
Prepare speech. Okay. I'll add you. Sameer isn't here right now. He too might be joining us eventually. Ekta? Vasundhara?
She'll be joining.
Ritika. So hopefully we will get joined by Akshi, Sameer and Vasundhara in due time. But before that, we can kick off the session, but that would just be after we introduce the participants from impromptu speeches today. That is Anusha, Pooja is here, and Sameer again for impromptu speeches. Great. So as is customary, we try to start off the session with something on a bit of a light side, maybe a joke or a light humor. And we all know who is especially known for humor in this session. So Rashmi, can you just cook up something humorous? I know you always have something up your pocket, so don't.
Yeah. Right now I want to kill Devogriya because probably this is my first session after
Bring it
3
down.
months.
It's echoing.
So this is probably my first session after 3 months. So I would have liked to have a lighter session, but then he had put me in a difficult situation. So okay, talking about humor. The other day, 2-3 days back, I was just hearing a couple of PGP1 guys. And, it's very funny to act like one of them and try to see what is their impression of about you. So what basically happened is that some guy came running to my room and then asked me that, okay, so is this the room where we are supposed to submit our assignments? So I didn't know what to say, so I said that yeah, this is the room. So that guy submitted all those assignments. Starting from roll number wise, it was nicely collated and all those stuff. So I submitted it in my room. Then after some time, then I was clueless about what to do with all those things. But after 5 or 10 minutes, another guy came running and then asked me, sorry to say that the deadline is over, but can you please consider my assignment? So I was happily submitted all those assignments to him, all those, and then said, please take this and submit it to it in the right room or something. So that's it. I think nobody laughed, so it is not a very nice mean, the intention was not. I might come up with something by the end of the session.
Yes.
And if I do not, then I will definitely kill the wolf.
Yes. So that's one of the advantages of having a verticality in the campus. Healing is a lot more easy. And I'm sure Rashmi would come up with something by the end of the session. Sorry to put you in an awkward position, by the way. Okay, so something about myself first. I too was scheduled to give a prepared speech today, but I backed out. Shame on me. But I'll take the opportunity to take credit for actually doing a good deed for the day. That is demonstrating in front of you what shouldn't happen in Toastmasters. Moving forward, let us demonstrate to you what should be happening in Toastmasters. And to do that, we'll call up on our first prepared speech speaker for the day, Ajay Singh. Please come on in. Just the grammarian word of the day.
Today's word is flagrant, and it means offensive, like something you violate.
Could you spell it out for us?
Flagrant. F-L-A.
S-L?
F-L-A.
F-L.
A. Flagrant. G-R-A-N-T. R-A-N-T. N-T. T-T. T-T.
So that's me. Right. Moving on, Ajay Singh Yadav for the first prepared speech. May we have a thunderous round of applause for each of the prepared speech participants, just in case we don't feel like applauding for them once we hear their speech. Let's compensate that for now. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Ajay Singh Yadav. Today I am going to present a prepared speech. So, there's a very nice saying from Steve Jobs. If today were the last day of your life, would you want to do what you are about to do now? So, today's my topic is Presentation Secrets by Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs has given many presentations in his life, and those speeches were very best. No one can match to that level. So, what was the secret behind his presentation? So, main thing was that he always had 3 acts. First, create a story. That whenever you are going to give a presentation, first always create. You should have a story. Second is deliver the excellence. That your story should be excellent. Whatever you are going to present, it should be excellent. And third was refine and rehearse. That is, whenever you are going to present anything, just practice it a lot of time. So, and main points are express your passion. Whatever you are going to present, you should be passionate about that. Because if you are passionate about that, you will be enthusiastic. If you are not, then why would the audience be enthusiastic about that? And second point is Twitter-friendly headlines. That is, whenever you are going to give a presentation or you are launching a product, you should give a headline that should go viral. Like when he launched MacBook in 2007, he just said one sentence, that is, MacBook is the world's thinnest notebook. So it gone viral. He didn't said any features of this. So you should not this in mind. Third point is stick to the rule of 3. He has the 3 rules. That is, if we say anything in 7 points, 8 points, people will definitely forget. So say the thing in 3 things. And when he was launching iPhone, he didn't say we are launching iPhone. He just said we are launching 3 products. First was that a better iPod where you can get a better touch features. Second was that you will get iTunes features that is very easy to use. Third was that I am going to launch a mobile. So in the end, he just said that we are launching iPhone. So people were surprised that all the 3 features are in just one product. The next is introduce a villain. When you are going to introduce a product, just introduce a villain. Like when you are launching iPhone in 2007, he just said that Nokia's phone, Samsung phones, they all are having this. All these features are bad. So when he was introducing iPhone, he just said that we overcome all these problems and our product is the best one. Second, sell the benefit. Whenever you are going to introduce any product, so tell audience about the features of this. What are the features of this? He always speak of 10 features. Those are also written in Apple sites. That these are the 10 features that you can get in this product. Saying fourth is build simple visual slides. Whenever Steve Jobs had given a presentation, he doesn't have a slide that is written with words or numbers. He just have a simple slide which is visualized. If people see, he just have a 7 words. What other people do that they have 40 words in a slide, but Steve Jobs always has 7 words in his slide, so that it attracts people very well. And next is tell stories. That is heavy numbers and charts are boring. People don't try to relate with them. Just so tell a story to the audience so that they are connected with you. And next is prepare and practice excessively. That is whenever he was going to deliver a speech, he practiced it for 48 hours. So one can think how much time he had rehearsed before delivering a speech. It's not that he just practiced for delivering the speech. He also practiced on making a presentation effective. How to reduce the words, how to make it more effective, more visualized, so that people get attracted to it. Then avoid reading from notes. Whenever a person is having a notes, it seems that he is not interacting audience with him. So he always try to make eye contact with the audience so that they don't lag behind. And next one, have fun. That is, whenever you are delivering a speech, if you are just saying a lot of things like me, people will not be enjoying the speech, so you should have fun in the presentation. Like once, Steve Jobs was delivering a speech, but what happens? The person who was supposed to bring all the slides, he was not present there. He was late by 10 or 15 minutes. So he started cracking jokes on people, the situation and all the things. So people were happy about that, and people didn't think that this thing is. People just think that it is. All this thing is planned. It's not that he's doing this by just because slides are not there. So in the end, I will thank you.
So thanks Ajay for that loud and thunderous speech. I would definitely bet that even if Steve Jobs actually listened to your voice, and I've said this before as a speech evaluator as well. So that kind of voice you could literally create a riot with that voice. So if you communicate to the right set of people or the wrong set of people, I should say. Moving forward, I think Akshi has slipped in here sometime in between. So Akshi, you're next.
I thought it's not a difference. She won't be giving it.
Okay.
She won't be giving it today.
Okay. No problem. Shriya. That one is working. The one with the wire.
I know, but then
You want to use this?
good evening, everyone. I'm here for my second speech, that is the one after my icebreaker. My topic is dreams. I have tried to make this speech before and it wasn't that successful, so I'm giving it another try today because this topic is very special to me. The first question that comes to your mind is, how do you define dreams? I've taken 3 major domains of dreams, so I'll be talking about them. The first one is the first way of defining a dream would be the series of thoughts, images or emotions occurring during sleep. The second one is the visionary creation of the imagination called a daydream, and the third one is the strongly desired goal or purpose in your life. Now the first one, the psychologists define it as the state of the unconscious or the subconscious mind. I define it as my very own personal movie theater. With my own story, my own sets, my own characters, actors, with me in the lead, me as the writer, director, producer, I can do anything and everything in my dream. I can be deep sea diving, I can climb a mountain, I can be a princess, I can have all the designer clothes, I can do bungee jumping, or I can be a super smart detective. When I defined dreams like this to my friend, I was asked to shut up, like always. but this won't happen in my dream because I'm the boss, right? They can be comedy, they can be horror, they can be action. But what are actually these dreams? If you think of them more, they're mainly the fantasies of my stupid imaginative mind. Are they really the unconscious? Are they really the sum, as in the sum together that you see during sleep of your unconscious mind that you experienced all during the day? Well, it's a very typical topic, and it's actually a debatable one, and I leave it to the psychologist to ponder on because it's too boring to talk your hair about, and I'd not like to do that. Next is the daydream. That is the one that you see while you're sleeping, as well as, it's more of your imagination that you experience during the day when you're lost in your own thoughts and then you have nothing else to do. This happens especially when you're studying. So daydreaming is my favorite kind of dream. So it's your train of thoughts that you experience one after the other, lost in your own world that you wish would happen. It is a visionary creation of imagination, as I mentioned earlier. So daydreams usually include when you link one thought to another and reach somewhere absolutely different and far apart. Like the other day I was wondering, while coming down to the stage, what if I knocked down that camera? Now apart from your reactions and my constant plea for forgiveness, I'd be wondering, what if it's broken? If it's broken, whether I'd have to pay for it. If I have to pay for it, how will I do it? I'll have to ask my dad, and then I'll be so dead. Now with that I remember that my treat to my cousin still, I have to ask him for more money this weekend because my treat to my cousin is still due. Then I remember that I'm supposed to call him back because he called me last night, and then I'll be wondering what he wants to talk about, and then I'll be thinking about something else, and then I'll reach somewhere entirely different. Now this is me daydreaming. Your daydreams would be different. You would imagine your crush walking by and what you would do next and what that person do next, and it goes on. Or you imagine your siblings at home and then your cousins coming over for dinner, and then you remember what you're going to have for dinner because it's not going to be good. And then you wish that you'd better go to city, but then you remember that you have an assignment due, and then for that you remember that you have to study, and then you remember that you have to study, and then you stop daydreaming. So this is how daydreams go. Then finally, the most important kind of dream, the one that you want to achieve. The one that doesn't make you eat, sleep, drink, rest, study, concentrate, practice, etc. The one that is difficult to find and even more difficult to achieve. The one that everyone hopes to find soon and achieve even sooner. The one that all the great people had, the one that made them great, and the one that will make you great. All the great achievers in the world have been great dreamers. The world needs dreamers and the world needs doers. But then the world needs dreamers who do. So dream and dream it big, and then work upon it. And if you need more tips on working upon it, then you need to refer to The Secret because I'm the better guide.
So one more reason to motivate ourselves to dream in class. At least we'll gain something out of it. Pratibha, she's our next student.
Shall we ask her to stop for a while?